In today's event, we need to create this sound here. So what we have to do for sound is you guys need to go into Audacity and you guys need to record something. So I'm going to go File, New. Okay, so that was my sound. It's really weird. All right, so do you guys like the double or do you like the single?
Single.
Okay, so like see all this stuff right here, these sound waves? By the way, you can hit control and you can blow these up. Okay, yeah, it's sound waves, and we're going to study sound waves here in a little bit. But these are your sound waves. Okay? And then what you do right here is you can just hit delete, and then I can just record. I can just get one of these sounds and go File, Export. Remember, just like GIMP, you export. You export selection, okay? And then I'll go to my 16, 17 videos, libraries, documents, 2016, 17. I'm going to go into, what is this today? Q2. I'm going to go into Count Me In. And I'm going to go, this is my beep 1. Okay. It's going to save it as an MP3. Notice all these in here. There's FLAC files, OGGs, WAV files. MIT, this is a test question, by the way. MIT handles MP3. Everybody say MP3.
MP3.
They also handle WMA, WAV files. Everybody say WMA.
WMA.
WAV.
Wave.
Okay. And they also handle FLACs.
Flag.
Everybody say FLAC.
Flag.
Like AFLAC.
Flag.
FLAC. Okay. They handle FLAC files. So you save it as an MP3. And then you could go through here like your Beyonce and do all that stuff. Track, title, album, track number of the year, your genre. Look at genres. They're pretty cool. Okay. You could get acid jazz, ballad, beats. Okay. And you classify it. Okay. And then you just, you can do all that. And then it saves it. All right. So now do you guys see how to use Audacity?
Yeah.
Pretty simple. Okay. And you guys can mix sounds and all that stuff. You can work on that. Now I go into my Sound 1 file. Okay. Let me plug this in now. Okay. I hope I have sound. Now you guys can go into your sound file. You go to your source, upload it just like you did an image. And let's look for my sound file. See it right there? MP3. You hit OK. And there's my MP3. And now it's loaded into my sound file. And now you're ready to start programming. Does everybody see how to do that? Thumbs up if you understand how to do that. Okay, so that's a little tutorial on Audacity. Download this at home. Play with it. You guys can mix sounds together. You can have a song up here and a song down here. You guys ever see with those DJs and they mix songs? You guys can have a lot of fun with this. You can write a paper on what's the difference between an MP3 and a WAV file and a FLAC file. You guys can write a paper on, we'll do sounds, how your ear handles sound. Okay. So, here we go. Blocks. So we already did this. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here on our blocks today is create a variable. Very important. Everybody say variable.
Variable.
Have you guys ever studied math before? I know you have. Bless you, Liberty. Have you guys done like a squared is equal to b squared is equal to c squared? Okay. Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, okay? A, b's, and c's can always change. You got 3, 4, 5 triangle. You got 6, 8, 10 triangle. You've got 9, 12, 15 triangle. Are you with me? All right. Can you guys turn that guy off? Who has him? Put headphones on. Okay. Now, everybody in here, look up here. You need to create a variable. Go to variables and initialize variables. Okay. Our variable is going to be myCount. And what, myCount, is that a number or a string? We're counting. What are we counting with? Letters or numbers? So you go to math and you drag in a 0. We're going to initialize it to count to start at 0. Okay? And then what I want to do here is initialize my count string. And I'm going to set my count string text right here in my initialize screen. This is screen 1 initialize here. This is where we set that original color to blue. Remember that? We did the exact 10, 164, 228 color in RGB. We did that yesterday in GIMP. So we found out what that color was. We initialized that color in here. So now I want to go to a text join. I use joins all the time. And do you remember how our label said, let's go back and look at it. Do you remember how our label said count, space, 0? This is only one label. If you want to use 2, some people like to put count, and 1. And then over here, they like to have another label with a 0. I don't. Less is more for me. If I can get it done with 1 instead of 2, I'm going to get it done with 1. Are you with me on that? Less is more. So, but with that, you need to do a join. So up here in your text, you go get a quote. By the way, if my count was a string, this is how you would initialize it. Let's say, like, you wanted to know the person's name who was playing, right? You would say your name and then equals strings here, okay? This is a string, but this is my count's not a string. What is it? It's a number. So you go to join, and then I'm just going to put count, in here, space, okay? And then you just go to your variables, and you're going to go ahead and connect it to myCount. Thumbs up. You see what I just did? I only have one thumb. Thumbs up. Do you see what I just did there? Yeah. You don't have what? This one? You don't need this one. You don't need that. You can get it done without it. Okay? So now we have a variable. What's going to happen to my variable when you press a button? Yeah, it's going to start counting. So when I click on my button, it's going to start to count. Are you with me? And how do we do that? We do math with it. So I'm going to go ahead and set my variable, my count variable, and I'm going to do math with it. Go to math and pull out the plus sign. And I'm going to say, okay, this is my variable, my count, whatever my count is. Let's say my count's on 3. And what are you going to add to it? You're going to count by 1. Okay? So you're going to go in here and put in a 1. All right? And it's going to count by 1, and then I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to set that into there, and it's going to take my count, put it in the label, and show it and display it. Okay? Now, every time we click on that button, what should happen? So that we know what? What? No, we want to play the sound, right? So all you remember the sound I loaded up in there? That little boop? Remember the boop? Everybody go do that for me. Boop. Yeah, remember the boop? So I wanted to play that boop. So I'm just going to say, hey, go ahead and play the sound so that I know when I counted to play the sound to let my ears know that we just counted. Have you guys ever had your phone in your pocket and then it start making noises? You're like, oh, maybe I better like put it to sleep, turn it off, shut it down, lock the screen, right? Okay. So this lets us know that that button is working and that button is making the sound and it's counting. Yes.
Where do the button get global myCount?
Get what?
Global myCount.
Just in variables. Get. You won't see it in there because all you have to do is pull the get out. Once I pull the get out, then it'll be loaded in there. See that? You see that? Go to variables and just go get. It's not in there? Then you don't have this one here. That's because you're missing this one where you didn't initialize it. You have to initialize first. Okay, so watch this. Watch this right here. Okay, let's do this. I don't need that one. Okay, watch this. Making variables here. This is good. So what's in there? My count and my name, right? Watch this. Bogey. Did we have Bogey's my dog? Did I have anything in there called Bogey before? Now watch this. Is Bogey in there? Yeah, why? Because I made Bogey right here. If you don't make him, it's not going to be in there. So you have to populate this by initializing it. You have to say, hey, this is a variable that I want to create. And then once you have that variable, then you can use it. Okay? Thumbs up if you're with me so far. Do you understand how I just counted with my button? Was that hard to do? No. You're going to tell it to count. You're going to create a variable. You're going to add on to that variable, and then you're going to display it. I'll tell you the big problem I see people have is they forget to display it. Would that display the variable right? Would that display your count? Would it be counting? Yeah. Are you displaying it? No. So does it look like it's counting? No, but guess what it is? You have to display it. Everybody say display. Okay. All right. Let's go down and do our check button. The check button is CHB enabled changed. Check buttons can change in states. What are the changes in states? Just like a light switch. What are my changes in the state of a light switch? You could turn it from on to off, or you could turn it from off to on. So in our checkbox, we can have it checked and then uncheck it, or it could be unchecked and then you could check it. Thumbs up if you understand what I just did. So what happens is we say when the checkbox enabled changes. When it changes states, you want to find out what state it's in. So now you go to logic. Or you do an if statement, if control. Okay? So if my checkbox, okay, is equal to so I'm sorry, I did this wrong. Okay, I did this wrong. So I need the if check enabled dot checked equals to true. This is a boolean. Everybody say boolean. I know it sounds like soup. Your parents ever made like bouillon soup? Okay, this is not soup. This is a boolean. Booleans are either true or false. Everybody say true or false. Okay, so you're going to go into logic. If the checkbox is enabled true, right? Do we want the button to work or not work? Work. So then you want to go down here to your big button, and you're going to say, I want to set my big button enabled to true. Just copy this. Okay? Else, this is a logic statement here. Else if checkbox is equal to false, should the button work? Should the button work? If the button is not checked, should the button work? No. So this one goes to false. This button no longer works. You can press it all day long, and guess what? It's going to do nothing. Not going to do anything. It's a dead button. It's an enable button. It doesn't work. That's like having a car with no battery. Is your car without a battery going to work?
Nope.
No. Doesn't work, not alive. As soon as you put a charge on your car, it's alive. All right? Now, let's do some text-to-speech in here so we can have some fun. Text-to-speech, let's do a little message in here. So, I'm just going to go get a message in here and say, button has been enabled. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this. You see how a lot of programming is just copying and pasting? And then I hear button has been disabled. So it's disabled means it does not work, right? Button has been enabled, button works. Okay? All right, now what I want to do is, let's do the reset button real quick because this is incredibly simple. All right, what does reset mean? What do you want to happen in this when you reset your count? Count goes back to what? 0. So that's all you do. Okay? So you're just going to go variables, set my count equal to 0, and then display it. We already have it displayed somewhere, so let's copy that code. And then let's go have some fun with text-to-speech. Remember, we're working on output here. So I want to have count. Count has been reset. Okay, and now she'll come on and say count has been reset to let us know the count's been reset. Oh my God, that's amazing. I should have her say, like, Mr. Richter's awesome too, but I'm not. I'm going to refrain from that today. Okay? All right, next. I'm going to show you guys how to work smarter, not harder. Can you guys watch this? Have we done BTN voice before?
Yes.
Yes. Where have we done BTN voice before? In our last app. So watch this. Projects. My projects. I'm going to go to Digital Doodle, period 1. Because I make 6 a day. Okay? If you want to see how many apps I really have, that's how many I have. Do you think I know how to make apps? Yeah, I do. Trust me. Period 1. So here's your period 1 app, right? Digital Doodle. Watch this. This is really simple. Takes a, if I can get it to load. Digital Doodle, period 1. There it is. All right, so nice looking app. Let's go to blocks. You're going to go down and you're going to find, let's scroll out, so we can find, there it is. Speech recognizer. Right? I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to say add to my backpack. Does everybody see that? Yeah. It's kind of small. Add it to my backpack. Boom. It's now in my backpack. Are you with me? Now where am I going to go? Projects. My projects. I'm going to go back to count me in, period 1. Is that the one I was working on? Yes, and guess what's in here? Yep. So now I can go in here. I can drag it out of here. Are you with me? Okay. Now, we're going to have to clean this up a little bit because this is not exactly the same. Are you with me? But now, I'm going to go in here to speech recognizer number 1, call and get the text. That does it. That calls this one because we had the exact same name. Here's my result. And I don't want to clear the canvas anymore. What do I, if they say clear, what do I want to do? Okay. So probably what I need to do here is do a procedure. Okay. And I'll call this reset my count. Okay. And then right here, I'm going to take all this and I'm going to put all this over here and I'm going to say reset my count. Now I go down in my procedures. There it is. Reset my count. If I hit reset, I'm going to reset my count. If they say clear, and then here, I'll say count has been Well, actually, I don't even need that because I already have that talking up here. So we're done. Okay? I don't need to clear my canvas, right? Why? Because we don't have a canvas, right? I don't need this. Okay? So now you just go into here, and if they say erase, I'm going to say clear. I don't need any of this red junk. Are you with me? Because we don't have red, so pitch it. Okay. Sometimes it's easier to just start from scratch. Sometimes it's, but I wanted to show you guys how to it's good to learn how to do a backpack, okay? Does everybody understand how to do a backpack?
Yeah.
So here's Mr. Richter's awesome. Okay, yeah, we can leave that one there. All right, here's hola. Hola, Daniel. ¿Cómo está usted? Todo bien. Gracias. All right, so there's some Spanish in there. Now we got to figure out what else they're going to say in this app. Well, if they say reset, okay, if they say reset, we probably want to reset my count. If they say reset my count, we'll probably reset my count. Are you with me? What else can we do? What happens if they say add one? This is a good one. So let's do this one. Let's go ahead and get result. And what happens if they say add one? Add one no. Add one. If they say add one, what are we going to do? Yeah. So what we could do here is put a procedure up here again, right? Let's put a procedure up here and call it increase counter. Okay, increase count. And then right here, we can go ahead and call increase count. And then this guy over here will increase count. Okay, now down here, if they say add one, what can we do? Increase count. Okay? What happens if they say add 5? Okay. What happens if they say add 5? Add 5. Okay. Then we could simply come down in here to my variables, and I could go ahead and set my count to do some math. And I just go through that procedure again of taking my count. But this time, I'm not going to add 1 to it. What am I going to add to it?
5.
I'm going to add 5 to it. Thank you, Nora. Get a piece of candy. I'm going to add 5 to it. And then probably right here, it would be good to go ahead and display. I'm going to go ahead and make another procedure to display my count. Okay, so I'm going to go up here and call it display my count. And then how could I display my count? And then right up here, I can say display my count. And then it'll display my count. And then down here, I can go ahead and call display my count. So anywhere I want to display my count, I just call display. It goes up there and does the display. Okay? Could we disarm this and enable it? Yeah. So now, and this is a tough one because it's hard to say enabled. I tried to do it last year and it doesn't come out very well. So you got to speak very slowly. But we could. Let's don't do all these clears. I mean, do we need all these clears? I don't think we need all these. Okay, so let's go up here. I don't think we need erase either, because that doesn't really make sense with resetting. Okay, but we'll keep reset, and then I'll just use these 2 spaces up here. So let's go ahead and copy and paste this, put it up here, and what happens if they say Enable. Okay, this is a tough word because Siri does not like enable, because when you say in, how's he doing back there? Are you good? What are you doing? What? Are your hands touching the keyboard? What are you doing? You're gimping? Are you watching a video? Then how are you gimping? Oh, you got your hand on your mouse? Can you sit up? You look like you're on a lawn chair or something. All right, enable. Enable's a tough word because Siri's going to think you said IN. Enable, right? So you got to be careful with this one. But where did we, so enabled here, okay. So if you enable it, then what we do is we just take all this. Guy sounds like me. So then we just take all this down here, right? And if they say enable, then we enable it, okay? And then if they say disable, so D-I-S-A-B-L-E, disable, then what are we going to do? We're going to change all this, okay? And this is going to go to false. And button has been disabled. Okay? That's it. Let's see if I got everything on this app. Let's go back to our checklist. Do I have the press me button working? Do I have the enable button working? Do I have the count button working? Did I hit reset? Do I have the voice button working again? Yes, and we did the carryover from our last app, right? Digital Doodle. You guys now know how to use the backpack. Thumbs up, you know how to use the backpack. I'm not always going to say it's easier. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You with me? But you know how to do it. Sometimes I just like starting from scratch because I think it's simpler and my brain stays clear on what I'm doing. Okay? But sometimes, you know, you can put it in the backpack, copy and paste, and bring it over. So we have text-to-speech working. We have sound 1 working. I think we have everything working on here. Okay? You know, the only other thing we could do, since we have some time here, maybe just throw in an accelerometer again. You guys remember how to do an accelerometer? So we can throw in an accelerometer. And if they shake it, what would you want them to do? Reset it? So if they shake it, then we'll call reset my count. So then you just go to your procedure. Watch how easy this is. All I do is go to my procedure now, and I just say reset my count. Okay? And now it'd be really cool if we had that Taylor Swift song come on and say, shake, shake, shake it up, shake it up, shake, shake, shake it up, shake it up. Okay? And we could play that song here if we wanted to. Yeah, we could. All I have to do is record the song in a player. We have shake it off in a player, and then it would start playing. Shake it off when you shake the app.
Isn't that like
Yes. If you were to sell it and try to make money off her Shake It Off song, then you're plagiarizing and she could come after you. But if we're doing it in an academic situation, Taylor Swift would be like, hey, let me come into your classroom, I'll sign autographs. Okay? But if we're going to sell it, then she'd be like, no, I'm very upset. You're trying to use me for money.
what? Can't you use a song for like 30 seconds? Like I heard that you could like.
It just depends. Are you trying to make money with it or are you trying to learn with it? If you're learning with it, no problem. They love you. If you're trying to make money off them, they have a problem because they have the rights to that song. So just be careful.
Don't we have to pay them for that?
Yeah. So we're in an academic situation. As long as we keep this academic, we're fine. As soon as we start posting things on the Play Store and start selling it for our own financial gain, then there's problems.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna post on the house. Ah, mine.
You can. If you want to go out and get sued. I'm not. I leave my stuff right here in the classroom. Okay? Any questions about this app? That's it. So, was that hard to do? Once again, it looks like a lot of code, but is it really that hard to put these pieces of the puzzle together one at a time? Not when you're decomposing the problem and thinking about it one at a time. What's problem decomposition? That's a test question. Breaking the problem down into small little parts and handling one little part at a time. It's like shopping for groceries. Are you with me?
They're all split apart in different areas.
Right. Is grocery shopping that hard? No. All you got to do is you go down each individual row, you see what you want, you put it in your basket, right? You go home, you cook it, and you eat it. It's really not that hard of a concept. People are like, oh my God, how do you go grocery shopping? One aisle at a time. You put the things you want into your cart. So that's all we did here is we take these items that we want, we put them in our cart, and we create a working app with it. All right? Any questions for me? Happy coding. Keep calm and code on.